Hello, my name is George Watts. I'm a British Woody yoga teacher and creator of the Yoga Genie lesson planner. And today I'm going to sort of go through a bit of a day in the life of a yoga teacher, a bit of a case study on how to do a bit of lesson planning, a themed lesson planning. So I'm just going to get stuck in and show you how I created this lesson plan right here. So the theme is, it's a Sun Salutation, and the theme is you do not need permission to shine. So sometimes I get my themes by just reading a book, and a sentence or an idea will pop out when I'm reading it. So I was reading the book called Journey into Power by Baron Baptiste, really good book. It's got a lot of yoga in there, but a lot of really good stuff at the back of the book on the philosophy, his philosophy on yoga and life, really. Some really good stuff, well written. He uses a lot of metaphors and very engaging written language. So yeah, really through that. That's how I got my theme. So then I went into the yoga lesson planner. So I'm in here, and this is the lesson plan I created, but I did that within a few minutes, so it might look a bit complicated. If I show you here how this looks printed, so this is me just, you can just drag and drop. There's hundreds of poses here in lots of different categories. And here's the end result. I've got the description here that I wrote out. And there's what I call the whole enchilada. Has everything, is what I call really the practice lesson plan. So you've got the time column, so you can put down how many minutes you're going to spend in each one. Or if you want to, you can leave it blank if you want to. There's obviously the image for the pose name, the description. And the description also has the alternatives to Sanskrit, the benefits, the video, and over here we've got the modifications and precautions. So that's everything. It's probably a bit too much to take into a yoga class to learn from or to teach from. So this is why I have this one. So this is the watered down version of that lesson plan that I take into class. So I use this one to practice with. And I'll give to my one-to-one students, and I might give to some of my advanced classes. I'll give them this lesson plan as well. So there's the watered down version. So I tend to give this handout to my students and not give them too much information with it. All this is a bit too much information there. That's just for me as a practice and for my one-to-ones and maybe some of my advanced students. So I'll show you how I got to all this within a few minutes really. So I'll show you how it's done. There's the end result there. So what I did was, because the theme was you do not need permission to shine, the obvious one there was use sun salutations, but I could have done a bunch of sort of chest openers, opening up the heart. That would have worked well with this theme of you do not need permission to shine. So I could have chest openers, could have used bridge, cobra, bow, any sort of standing or seated back bends, and a whole bunch of other ones. So I just decided to do a simple one with just using sun salutation. So all I did, so I'm going to start from scratch here. I'm going to go into search lesson plans and show you how I then got this. Let's go in here. So I'm going to go search lesson plans, and what you'll do, there's hundreds of lesson plans already submitted by yoga teachers who are using the Yoga Genie lesson planner. So all you've got to do over here is if you want to search for any particular lesson plan, you click that and click search, and that will come up with A to Z of all the lesson plans that have been shared. So at the moment these are just my lesson plans that I've created, but if I click search now, that would then now come in here, and you see down below there'd be, you've got sort of a few hundred yoga lesson plans you can choose from there. So if you want to do something specific, you could so here if we search by sun and just had sun, the sun was somewhere in the title, and click search, still keeping that ticked, include shared lesson plans, and I click search, and then everything with sun would appear. So these are all the lesson plans. All the ones that I've done myself are highlighted in blue, and these are all the ones done by fellow yoga teachers who are using the yoga lesson plan. So I can go in there and use one of theirs if I wanted to. And all these that I've done here are shared, so you'll see all these ones when you get the yoga lesson planner. So if I click down here and say I wanted, we've got Sun Salutation with mantra for each pose. So say if I liked that one there, all I would do is click View, and it pops up. So now here's that lesson plan there, and if I want to now use that, I can just go copy, and I can retitle it. So here I'm going to put the new title there. So Sun Salutation, this is what I did. You do not need permission to shine. So that's the theme. I'll put a 2 in there because I've already done this. I'm just going through showing you how I did it. So I'm just going to click copy. And so there it is. It's changed the title there for me there, number 2, and that's it there. And if I now wanted to go back, before I sort of drag some more poses in here and edit the poses, I'm just going to show you where that is now. If I go into click search lesson plans, you'll see now it's at the very top here. There it is. That's the one I was showing you before at the very beginning. I've now got that one there. So I'm going to go back in there and click view and show you what I did. So here, first of all, I'm going to go edit. Click edit. I want to edit the front page. So this is the description, what comes on the front page, and you don't have to write anything here if you don't want to. I can click on the bottom right here to scroll it down a bit, and that's what came with the copied lesson plan. So I'm just going to write. Just going to pause this video here, and I'm just going to write some stuff for this theme, and then go through it in a second. So if I come up here and just click pause. Okay, so I've done that. I've gone in and I've changed the written up description. I just changed the, I used some of the description there that was already there, and just changed things up a bit to match the theme. So the theme is you don't need permission to shine, just show up, shine, and be yourself. And then I've just got a bit of info there, so I'll just read it. The Sanskrit for Sun Salutation is Surya. So this is really just for myself. And also, like I said at the beginning, if I'm going to give this to a one-to-one student, they'll print this out as well with the lesson plan, and they'll get this as well. And this is what it looks like up here. So that's the page here, the first page. And again, this is all optional. You don't have to have this if you don't want to. This can all be gone. I don't need that. But most yoga teachers like to have a bit of a theme, and they can write down something there. You can have several pages up there. I've just got one page here of text to show you, but you could have loads of pages up there as a description for the lesson plan if you wanted to. So here, if I come back in here, so I've gone, the Sanskrit for Sun Salutation is Surya Namaskara, which means salute to the sun. During today's lesson, you're going to discover that you don't need permission to shine. You'll discover the biggest mistake we humans make is to think we need someone's approval to feel good. You'll discover that radiating light and love for 1 hour in a yoga class each week isn't enough, and that it's your moral responsibility to shine constantly, just like the sun. You'll discover how to naturally flow from your inner light. You'll discover that being yourself is the best way to shine your inner light upon the world. So here I've got repeating the mantra, I don't need permission to shine, after each pose will reinforce the message. So here what we're doing on the actual lesson plan, so we've got a basic Sun Salutation solution sequence there. We go from mountain, raised arms, forward bend, and all that. So what I'm doing here to reinforce the theme, which is I don't need permission to shine, is that we're going to do what I've got the students to do. If I come up here into the actual so I'm going to save this now. So if I just scroll down before I save that there, so I've got that there, and I've got the mantra in brackets there just to make sure that they say that mantra after doing each of those poses. And then coming down here, I then finish off with the richest place on planet Earth is not a bank vault filled with gold, it's our graveyards, because they are filled with people that didn't give themselves permission to shine. They took their talents, gifts, and brilliance to their grave in unexpressed potential. The greatest human tragedy is a life half lived. So go forth and shine. So that might be something I finish off with at the end of the class, and when we're sitting down. and we do a namaste or an Om Shanti or something, I might finish with saying something like that at the end. And so here, again, you can change the duration to whatever you want. Normally it's a 90-minute class. I'm going to have this as beginner. You can put keywords here if you want to. You could put Sun Salutation, whatever there, but you don't really need anything here for the keywords. You put the date, obviously, select whatever date you're going to be doing this class on, and you can click up here to go back and forwards for the months. Time of class, obviously, you can click on there and change the time. Location, if you want to change, or if you've got several locations, you can change that there, because this all comes, if you want it to, it can all come up here on the lesson plan up there. And number of students in the class, again, it's all optional, you don't have to put all this. That's going to go up here somewhere. I don't think I've selected the number there. And public lesson plan. So this is what you can untick this if you don't want it to be shared with the public. So all the other people that use the yoga lesson planner, if you don't want them to have access to this, but they'll never be able to say you click share here. They won't ever change your lesson plan. They'll have to copy it. And then they can go in and edit and change whatever they want there, so you'll never lose anything. So it's always nice to keep that ticked and allow the other members to have access to the lesson plans. And here you can obviously add whatever handouts you want. So I'm just going to delete that there for the time being. But if I wanted to, I could put a title for the handout there. Maybe I did one Sun Salutation variations, and I can choose a file on my computer and I can upload it somewhere. Upload it here, and I'll be able to download that with the lesson plan. But so I'm just going to leave that blank at the moment. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to go click save. And now it's time to go in and make some edits. So all I'm going to do here, I'm going to go into each of the things here and just show you. I'm going to click the blue icon there on the top of the pose, and what I'm going to do, that's okay for mountain, I will keep that all the same there. I'm just going to go back to the dashboard, and what I want to do, there we go, mountain 2. So I'm going to edit this one here, and I'm going to change the title of that from mountain 2 to mountain with raised arms, and that'll come up there, mountain with raised arms. What I want to do here is put the mantra in. So the mantra I'm going to do is say aloud. So I'm actually going to say pause, and then say aloud here, and then put the mantra, I don't need permission to shine. So there it is. I'm just going to copy that because I want to do that at the end of each pose. I want to keep that mantra at the end of each pose. So that's okay. I'm going to click save changes at the bottom. And we're going to come back there, and I'm going to go into, so that's changed the title there. So we'll go back into this. The title there will be changed from mountain to, so here, that would have been mountain 2, but now it's mountain with raised arms when you go to print. I'm going to do the same for the next few over here. So I'll just do one more and then I'll pause the video. So here I'm going to say forward bend, rid of that. I'm going to get rid of the old mantra there, delete, and then put the new one in, paste that in. And then I'm happy with everything else. We've got all the benefits. So you could do, if you want to do, if you wanted other benefits, you could add them here if you wanted to. Other modifications for forward bend, and you can add outside resources. Say if you want to, you had a blog post or a YouTube video, you could add them here. You click the add resources there, and if you wanted to, you could then add it there. The title and the link, and it'll add it underneath there for you, but I'm just going to delete that because I don't need that there. So I'm happy with that. All I want to do there is put that new mantra in, and I'm going to click the save changes. So now I'm going to pause the video. So I've done it for those two, and I'm going to continue doing those for the next few, and then I'll show you how I added a few other poses. Okay, so now I'm going to show you, I've gone in and edited all those poses to add the new mantras to the poses, and now I'm going to show you how I added these three poses here. We've got a repeat thing there. I've done a laughter, because this theme is all about opening up, so it's a nice one to do a laughter yoga exercise, so it's a nice, simple, easy one that people will be comfortable with, and finishing off with a relaxation exercise there. So I'll show you how I did those three, add those three to what we just copied the previous lesson plan and just went in and edited each of the poses there to add the new mantras. So now this is how I did this. So you go to extras down the bottom here, and there's a whole bunch of these extras, and if I wanted to, I could have said repeat 5 times if I wanted to do the Sun Salutations 5 times, but I just clicked on that and released, and it comes here, and I just dragged it over there, and so that's how that works. I'm just going to delete that other one, and this one was heart circle. So what I did here for laughter, I looked through some of the laughter ones, and there's a whole bunch of laughter exercise, laughter yoga exercises, and drag, and you can just drag and let go, or you can come up here and you can drag it wherever you want it to go. That's what I did there. Put it in there, and I just kept it the same. I might have edited it slightly in there. So if I just click edit that, this is the original one. Let's have a look. No, so I kept that exactly as it is. Get in a circle, raise arms up, look up, and laugh heartily. So that's the same. Delete that. And this is how I did the nice to finish off on. Breathe in light and love. So obviously this works with the theme. Again, I'm always trying to weave the theme in throughout the entire class. So I don't just have the theme at the beginning, or mention the theme at the beginning and then forget about it during the class, and then maybe have a week recap at the end about the theme. I'll be hammering that theme to the students constantly throughout the whole lesson plan, so they know when they've left that class exactly what the theme was, and they'll know that theme for years to come even. It's almost impossible to overdo the weaving in of your theme. 99.9% of definitely beginning yoga teachers will underplay the theme. They might have a theme and they might mention it at the beginning of the class, and then there'll be nothing about that theme throughout the entire class, and it wasn't really a theme. So one of the easiest and simple ways of sort of weaving a theme into a class is using these mantras. So I've just used that very simple mantra, I don't need permission to shine, and I'm getting them to, once they've got to the pose, they pause at the end of the pose and then they say that mantra. And to begin with, they might say it out loud, and then I might, throughout the class, so from one sequence here, I might get them after each pose to say the mantra out loud. So when they reach the top of the pose, they pause, they'll say, I don't need permission to shine. Go to the next pose, do the same thing, get to the end of the pose, and say the mantra again out loud. And then maybe on the next sequence I get them to do it silently. So maybe for the next 2 sequences of Sun Salutations they do it silently, and then they do it loud again, and then they maybe go back to silent. So it depends how many you do. Maybe you do 4 or 5 or 6 sequences, and you might alternate from going from loud to quiet, whatever. So here, this last one is the relaxation. So I went into the relaxation ones, and I found one that breathe in positive sounded pretty good, so I dragged that in and I just renamed it. So here it's breathe in love and light and love. So there, all I did was edit that. So to go from breathe in light and love, I'm going to change that here. So breathe in light and love. Put number 2 there so I know which one that is. There. What I did was change, because keep it with the theme again. Sit with legs crossed, focus on the breath. On inhale, imagine a positive emotion, e.g. light, blah blah blah. So I'm going to go on inhale, imagine imagine light. There, going to go imagine light and love being taken to, here we put it in shorthand, to your lungs, and from there throughout the bloodstream where it's carried to every part of your body. So that's quite a nice one there, so I'm quite happy with that. Click save. And that's the lesson plan done. So I'm going to just do, I've already done that one, I'm just going to delete that. And so now all you need to do, if you want to go for the print settings, here I'm going to download this right now and show you what this looks like. Okay, click download. And that's downloaded there as a PDF. So just open that up. And there's the full enchilada, has the everything that you want there. Beginning description, and you've got really everything you need. Image, pose name, description, modification, precautions, all the alternative Sanskrit benefits. And you can remove any of this. So within the print settings, what I'm going to show you in a minute, if you wanted to, you could remove the time column, you can remove any of these columns, you can remove any of the, say if you didn't want a video link, so if you click on this link here, if the student wanted a 2-minute refresher or 1-minute refresher on how to do mountain pose, they just click on this link and it'll open up into a YouTube video right there. So we're just going to get rid of that and come back here. Say I didn't want any of this, I could remove the alternatives, Sanskrit, the benefits, video even from here. If I wanted a more watered down, cleaner look, I could do that, and I can remove anything here I want to. So I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. And let's have a look. So you've got this print setting as well, which I'm going to show you how to do as well. So coming in here, on the right hand side, you'll see print settings. You'll click on that red print button. And here's what we've got set at the moment, the whole enchilada, and the whole enchilada is this. That means everything. So you're printing the title, the logo, date, difficulty level, duration, the description of the lesson plan, and then all the columns and everything. So that's how that is printed. But say if I just wanted to print 5 poses per row, I could do that, and maybe I want to get rid of the logo, the lesson plan, date, difficulty level, duration, description. That's all the stuff up here. So by unticking all that there, I'm getting rid of all that there and the logo. So it's going to be a cleaner look. And there. So I'm just going to stick with the table. Table format, the pose name in the Sanskrit. So here it's going to look like this. I could also get rid of the Sanskrit if I wanted to. So we've got the Sanskrit under the English. So if I wanted to, I could remove the Sanskrit. I'll show you how that looks. And you can even get rid of the table format there is, see this, the table, you got lines under there. If you wanted to get rid of that and you want an even cleaner look where you don't have any lines or any table at all, if I clicked that, which I'll show you now, also I'll just keep the pose name. And I'll show you a very clean look, and click Save Changes. So this is going to print 5 poses per row. I've done that on purpose because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it looks quite good with 5 per row. If you had 18 poses, 6, 12, 18, you'd have 6 poses per row. If you had, again, you don't have to, but it just looks a bit nicer when you've got all the poses here, because I've got 5 per row there. It looks nicer. So that's why you've got all those different print options for how many rows you want per row. Say if you had a lesson plan with 6 poses, you could just have or say 6 poses, you could have 3 per row, or you could have 6 per row and it would just be 1 row. Hope that makes sense. So anyway, I'll show you how that works now when we go to print. So I'm going to click download now and show you how that would be a watered down version of the lesson plan with what we've just selected. So now the tables have all gone, all the lines around that. We've got rid of the Sanskrit underneath. And that's the very simple watered down version that you can give to your students. And also, this is what I take into class with me as well. So I'll put this on the front of my mat, and that's what I'll be teaching from here. I won't be taking in the whole enchilada. This is why I normally print out put in my pocket and practice throughout the day. I'll visualize the lesson plan, look through this, maybe look through one of the video tutorials sometimes if I want a bit of a recap. But usually use it for the modifications, precautions, and if I know some of my students have some problems, back problems, or whatever. Every class you'll have students with varying different problems. I'll just look here. If I've got someone pregnant, I'll make sure to put some notes in there, but the notes are already there, and I might say give them a modification or alternative. And yeah, so another print setting here. If I go back into the print settings there, we will now see how to print the whole enchilada. So here I'm going to go the whole enchilada, and that'll print everything. But say if I didn't want the logo, so just like on that one up here, I haven't got the logo or the description or anything, you could do that there. And say if I didn't want the time column, I could remove the time column. If I don't want the link, video link in the description, I could get rid of that. If I didn't want the modifications and precautions, I'll keep those. Maybe I don't want the benefits, don't want the Sanskrit. So there you go. So you've got lots of different options there. I'll click save there, and I show you what this slightly watered down version of the whole enchilada looks like. Click save. And when you go back in here, you'll click download. And let's have a look. So here we are, clicking onto this, and there's the watered down version. So we've still got the alternatives, but you don't see the video link, you don't see the benefits. We've still got the modifications and precautions because we didn't untick, but if I unticked them, they would have gone as well. And that's how that works. So just to have a recap, that was how we used the lesson planner there, was just by going into search lesson plans and searching for a lesson plan and using that and editing that up. We could have just started from scratch. So up here you go create a lesson plan and you start from scratch. You'll do the go through the routine. I'll just show you that very quickly, but you could have just gone create a lesson plan. There's your description. You could write there, in there, and that's obviously this description up there, here, and you can go through all that. So if I just do an example here, just do this as a test, and keep everything, that's okay. I'll just click save. I'm going to go into detail there. I've already got videos on the when you click the getting started video tutorial, I go into depth on how to do all this, so just showing this as an example. And then you could just drag and drop. So if you want to do some chair exercises, you could just drag them in there. If you wanted to add a few Ashtanga poses possibly, you could you obviously wouldn't do probably chair yoga and Ashtanga in the same class. You might do, I don't know. So, and that's how it works. So if I want to do a seated poses banner, I could just drag that into wherever I wanted it to go, or I could just release, because I've done that, it's gone into there anyway. You can delete the poser there by clicking the X there. You can copy a pose there. Say if you're using a pose, you want that again. Normally that happens when you've got like a mountain pose. Pretend that's mountain pose, you could copy that. Click the copy icon there on the right hand side, top right there. Click OK. That will have copied it to the end, and you're good to go. So the other way you got, so there's the two ways. The first way was copying, going to search lesson plans, finding a lesson plan and then copying it. The second way was just creating one from scratch. And the third way is you can, to create a lesson plan, is just to ask Genie. So here, you don't have to save at any time. It saves automatically the actual lesson plan. So as soon as you drag a pose in there, you don't have to click save anywhere, it does it automatically. So now if you go anywhere else, you'll be fine. So if I go now click ask Genie, it'll ask me, okay, do I want to do it with a pregnancy planner or lesson planner? I'll go with a pregnancy planner. I'll show you how it works with a pregnancy planner. Default, yeah, I'll go with the default one. You could put your own formula here, and you could put how many poses you wanted there. So if I scroll down over here on the right and I had the pregnancy planner there, I could put how many poses I wanted there. and you've got a maximum of 5 per one, so you can put 5 in each there and it'll come up with your own one there. But I'm just going to go with the default one and click save, and that will automatically create a pregnancy yoga lesson plan for me. So here, if you wanted with the Yoga Genie planner, you get that as a bonus. So there's the pregnancy planner, and there's hundreds of pregnancy poses here. So if I go to seats and sound, so a whole load of them here just for pregnancy, and they've obviously got the nice, attractive looking, cute looking pregnancy stick figure. So really quite nice. If you do pregnancy yoga, and there's hundreds of them, I'm adding more all the time. And then you could do the same thing. You could do a drag and drop. So if you wanted to change the poses around a bit here, or get rid of a pose, say you didn't want that pose, I'll remove that. That's fine. And then if you wanted to add something else there, breathing exercise maybe at the end, you could do that. So it works exactly the same as the yoga planner over here. So yeah, that's it really. So this was really just to show you how I go about, how to go about creating a themed lesson plan. But there's 3 different ways of creating a lesson plan, just by going to search lesson plans, copying one of the hundreds of lesson plans that are already out there and tweaking it to your own personality, or you can just leave it alone. You can just have it as is. So you could have gone to search lesson plan and gone over here to include shared lesson plans and picked one, and then just maybe change the title if you wanted to. You don't even need to do that really. So you could have had the same title, same description, and not change anything, and just print that out, download it, print it out, and go to class and teach that. But most yoga teachers will probably want to edit it a little bit, and that's how you go and do that. So you've got that option. And like I said before, we've got just creating one from scratch, and you've got the Ask Genie. So 3 ways of creating a lesson plan, but try to keep it really simple. Just to recap on theming your lesson plans, keep it simple and really remember to theme it throughout the entire class. Don't just mention it at the beginning and then let it sort of drizzle out and hardly mention it at all throughout the whole class. Just don't be afraid of drilling that theme into your students throughout the entire class. It's impossible to do that too much. So I really hope this helps. If you've got any questions, you can go to my website, so over here, and you can also, if you haven't got the Yoga Genie lesson planner yet, it comes with the Yoga Teacher Lesson Plan Kit. So if you come to my website, you'll see it here on the home page, and it's all there, and it's for £97 you get lifetime membership and lifetime access. I'm always adding new poses. Every day there's loads of new lesson plans being added, because there's hundreds of yoga teachers using the yoga planner. So the yoga planner is just one resource within the Yoga Teacher Lesson Plan Kit. There's lots and lots of stuff, lots of bonuses that come with the kit. So if I scroll down here, you'll see all these bonuses, and they're all yoga related, all resources I've used for my own yoga lesson planning. You've got all these stick figures here that you can download for free as a bonus. So lots and lots of stuff there comes with the Yoga Teacher Lesson Plan Kit. But the main resource, obviously, within the kit, the Yoga Teacher Lesson Plan Kit, is the Yoga Planner, where you can just drag and drop and do what I've just showed you there.